Welcome to part 5 of Wake Up. So, before we start this off, I just want to point out a couple of things. One thing that I want to point out, as you can see in the background, my bathroom light is on. For good reason. At the time that I'm shooting this video, I am also editing and prepping the other 2 videos that are and have been uploaded prior to this video. The one video is called Wake Up Break. As you undoubtedly seen, it is an in-between video for parts 3 and 4. And as I stated in that video, a friend of mine who I reached out to and asked to review the first 3 videos spotted on camera in my bathroom the same entity that I have been feeling for over a year now. Okay? And I've noticed a pattern with it. And that's the fact that it loves to hide in the bathroom. Particularly when the bathroom is nice and dark. I've gone through my whole ritual again today of telling it to fuck off. Telling it it's not welcome here. To further that, I am taking away its hiding place from now on. Am I playing a risky game with this? Yes, I am. But as I've told it, I am not afraid of it. I have dealt with this being for over a year. I do not fear it. And I've also told it if necessary. Because I don't know whether you want to say this thing's a ghost. I don't know if it's some sort of extraterrestrial or some kind of government being. I don't know. All I know is it's very evil. But nonetheless, I do not fear it. And I know that if it can manifest a solid black shadow in a dark room, then it has no problem manifesting into a solid being. I have challenged it. I told it to stand in front of me, to appear in front of me. It did not. It knows I don't fear it. But as an extra added sense of protection, first off, this is one of about 8 knives that I own. And unfortunately, the only guns I own are BB guns. However, the main difference between the BB guns that I own, I'm going to point out those differences now before we get into the video. So this is one of the BB guns I own. This is probably the strongest of the 2 BB guns of its kind. Right away, you'll notice there's an orange cap on one of them, not on the other. Another key difference, this has plastic BBs. This is what I call my warning shot weapon. Plain and simple, yes, it is cocked. This is a spring action BB gun, for those of you who don't know. This one, however, there are a couple of key differences, not just the fact that there's no orange cap on it. One, and they're both major differences. One of the differences, those are metal BBs. These are copperhead BBs. And inadvertently, I found out that these can penetrate skin, and they actually go fairly deep. Another difference, this has a CO2 canister in it. I've personally seen how dangerous this one is. Will I get a real gun at one point? Yes. In the meantime, I'm good with this one. And for when the time does come, that I'm able to get the pellet gun that I would like. Just to show you I'm not fucking around with that either. Whoop. Nice sharp point pellets. I believe these were made by Copperhead as well. It is not the only one. I have a whole can full. So in the meantime, for the lack of a real gun, I am very well protected. But as I've stated, I do not fear this thing. To further my ammo, whole thing, Copperhead. The same BBs that are in my BB gun. So all that being said, knowing that I've challenged the entity and all that good stuff, onto the video. So let's see, we've covered a lot here in the first 4 parts of this series. So what could I possibly add on to it? I look for this to be an ongoing series, just to let you guys know. And at the very least, they're going to be 15 videos and up. 15-minute videos and up. So what's today's video on? Today's video is on a topic that I'm sure we're all very familiar with, the Great Space Race. However, this isn't the one that took place around the time of the Cold War. This is one that is going on right now. The original race was between Russia and the US to put man on the moon and ultimately decide who the next great superpower was going to be. As we all know, the US won. I use that term very loosely. However, the great space race going on now is between the US, Russia, and China. It is again to get to the moon. However, it's for an entirely different reason. Before, it was to see who would become the next greatest superpower on the planet. This one would also have that same kind of title to it, but it's not just simply about putting man on the moon. It's about starting a mining operation on the moon. Now, I can already hear quite a few of you thinking to yourselves, saying to yourselves, what is there to mine on the moon? It's a lifeless star, we'll say, lifeless satellite, whatever it may be, lifeless planet, whatever you want to call it. So what could there be on the moon that these 3 countries could possibly mine for? And it starts with the sun. That's where it starts. Now, again, I can hear you guys saying, what does the sun have to do with the moon? It has to do with a byproduct of the sun. For those of you who don't know, and those of you who are already very familiar with it, the sun is the biggest nuclear reactor in the universe. Or at least in this galaxy, anyway. So what does that mean? One of the byproducts of the sun is an invisible substance known as helium-3. Helium-3, it's still a little unknown as to what the scientific properties of this substance is. In the conspiracy world, especially among extraterrestrial and UFO experts, helium-3 is theorized to be the fuel, so to speak, of UFOs. It is theorized that UFOs, that alien saucers and shit like that, operate on what's called a fusion engine. And the fuel needed for it is helium-3. But again, some of you might be asking, what does that have to do with our moon? So, let's think about this for a second. We're within fairly close proximity of the sun. We're not touched by this helium-3. Our atmosphere protects us from helium-3. However, the moon has no atmosphere. The moon, for thousands, if not hundreds of millions of years, has been bombarded by a constant stream of helium-3. That is the main reason why the US, China, and Russia are in a space race to get to the moon so that they can set up a mining colony on the moon to extract helium-3, because the theory behind this one is that whoever can control helium-3 will control space exploration. It is theorized that helium-3 will help us travel farther and at a much faster pace than what we currently can. Whether or not this is true, I don't know. But this is the reason why these three countries are in competition to get to the moon again. However, they are going to be met by a fourth party. It's nothing of this planet. And it already has a mining colony set up on the moon. During the Apollo 11 moon landing, at certain points in time, the live broadcast was severed for several minutes on end. Now, a lot of people say that can be due to technical malfunction. However, what a lot of people don't know, that same public channel is also tapped in by Capcom, an order of the government at the Pentagon. Whenever something is seen that is, I guess you'd say, abnormal, the Pentagon automatically... Why does my bathroom light look brighter? I might be reading too much into that. Regardless. So anytime something abnormal is caught on camera, the Pentagon automatically severs the connection to have a private conversation with the astronauts. There was even an astronaut who allegedly filmed this extraterrestrial mining equipment on the moon, and upon landing back on Earth, yes, I'm keeping an eye on my bathroom, because I'm getting a weird feeling from it for some reason. It's almost like I see that light pulsate. Regardless. Once they got back to Earth, that film was confiscated. There have been pictures surfaced over the years of alleged alien bases on the moon, where in a crater, in the wall of a crater, it looks as if a base has almost been carved out of the crater, and it actually looks like there's a turret stationed at one of the corners of the base. To continue this, there's been photographs of an alleged bridge that doesn't sit well with certain scientists. It sits out of place almost. Along with that, there's been images of what appears to be a satellite dish standing on 3 legs, or a tripod, if you will. And the scariest thing about the dish is that it's pointed right at Earth. So we have these pictures that have surfaced over the years, and there's countless other pictures that seem to have been, that just seem to pop up, of other unexplained structures on the moon. And Me personally, I find that to be very interesting, but very weird at the same time. But anyway, back to the Apollo 11 mission. During that mission, they not only saw alien mining equipment, they stumbled across the entire alien colony that is stationed at the moon. And it, again, is said that they are mining helium-3 from our moon. So, what do we have here? We have three of the greatest superpowers on the planet in a race against literally themselves and time, where they're trying to get to the moon to harness a substance that could be used for space exploration. But at the same time, if these accusations are true, that there is an extraterrestrial mining colony already stationed on the moon, when one of these three countries finally does get there, they're going to be met by these extraterrestrials, and we can only assume and theorize at that point what the outcome is going to be. We already know that we're being visited by extraterrestrials. We hear about people being abducted every day, about human experimentation, cattle mutilations, women who have claimed that fetuses have been taken right out of them during the abduction, men who say that they've had various tissues and fluids removed from their body, including sperm. And what happens when we invade their territory? It's theorized that there is some kind of treaty going on between extraterrestrials and the world's government. And it's been theorized that the extraterrestrials themselves have broken that treaty. If there is an extraterrestrial mining operation going on at the moon, I'd like to know who these extraterrestrials are. Because there are several species. If any of you have checked out the Alien Encyclopedia link that I'm leaving with all of my channels, or I'm sorry, all of my videos, you already know that there are several species of extraterrestrial in existence that are very hostile towards humans. A couple of those species are the reptilians, and a very common species that's heard of here on Earth called the Greys. So if this is like maybe a gray colony mining on the moon, or a reptilian colony on the moon, what happens when people step foot on the moon to mine it for the same resource? We could be looking at possibly a bigger issue than CERN. CERN is still years away from completing what they want to do. And theoretically speaking, China, Russia, and the US can be months away from putting someone on the moon to set up a mining colony. What happens at that point, guys? Especially if the extraterrestrials aren't willing to cooperate with us. What happens then? I'll tell you what happens then. Full-blown panic and an alien invasion that not only will threaten life on this planet, but more than likely will destroy this planet. I've had a few people walk up to me who've seen my videos already. They're like, even if this is true, even if this is what the government's up to, excuse me, why are you putting your life at risk? Why disclose this information? Here's the thing. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm not on any watch lists that I know of. I just know that I've been dealing with a fucking entity looking over my shoulder for over a year now. that puts fear into my heart, well, correction, used to put fear into my heart whenever I would do a video like this. Obviously, it doesn't do that anymore because I make these videos. And some of them are actually doing very good on YouTube right now. But why do it? Why now? Because we need to wake up. We do. We need to wake up. We need to stand up and fight. We need to put an end to what the government's doing. We need to pull the curtain down on all of the secrets that the government has and on everything that the government is keeping from us. And until we do, we are nothing more than sheep being led to the fucking slaughter. Plain and simple. However, the select few individuals out there, the conspiracy theorists, who know what's going on, who are fighting, who want the rest of mankind to wake up. We're not sheep being led to the slaughter. We're the wolves trying to tell the sheep, don't go. Wake up. This is all an illusion. They're trying to trick you. But of course, we're the ones that are called crazy. Wolves isn't the right term. We're the black sheep, not being fooled. We are the black sheep of society. But wolves is the correct term to use in the sense that we are no longer the hunted. The conspiracy theorists for years have been a cross of the hunters and the hunted. Because we're the hunters because we go after what the government doesn't want us to know. And that's why we're the hunted as well. But it's getting to the point now we don't care. We don't feel like the hunted anymore. We are the hunters. Plain and simple. And to all the conspiracy theorists out there watching these videos, we need to band together soon. Anonymous has the right idea. Even though Anonymous right now is going after pedophiles, they are still making videos about CERN. They recently did videos about some upcoming shit for 2018. You know, and it's time to stand up and fight. Just because you claim to support Anonymous, who without a doubt is probably the biggest group of conspiracy theorists ever formed and to ever go public. Just because you say you support them doesn't mean it. I follow Anonymous on Facebook. I follow them on YouTube. I generally support Anonymous. I've spoken to members of Anonymous who I've told personally I support them. It's not about having the masks. It's not about having the pins that you put on your shirt. It's not about, you know, walking around with an anonymous sign. It's about standing up for what's right. Being the hunters instead of the hunted. Right now, for all of you out there who neglect what the conspiracy theorists and what Anonymous is trying to tell you, I feel sorry for you. I have pity for you. Because you will be slaughtered for your non-belief and for the simple fact that you did not stand up and fight. Plain and simple. Am I a member of Anonymous? No, I am not. If I was, you would not be seeing my face right now. Or in any video that I put on this channel. I am a conspiracy theorist. I am a hunter looking to expose the truth and save a few thousand people, if not a few billion. I, along with several other conspiracy theorists, look to liberate this planet, to pull down the veil, expose the secrets, expose what's really going on behind the curtain. And until it is done, until the people of this earth, let alone the people of the United States, ban up and fight the government, go against the government. Those of you who just sit idly by and actually give in to the propaganda that's going on, you won't survive. Those of us who knew what was coming will. You listen to the news. You're glued to social media. You believe everything shoved down your throats by mainstream media. Is YouTube mainstream? Sure it is. Sure it is. Everyone uses it. It's some of the content on YouTube that makes it non-mainstream. When I say mainstream media, I'm referring to shit like Fox News, your local news stations. Television is controlled by the government. Everything you hear every single day is controlled by them. They have say in what's going on. And like brain-dead zombies, you just go with it. Why do you think the intro song to this channel, says you're a zombie? The very first thing it says, you're a zombie. Because it's the truth. It is the truth. So continue to buy into the propaganda. Continue to be blind. And when the day comes, the hunters, the conspiracy theorists, and anonymous will stand high above the chaos and anarchy. Look down and say, we told you so. Stand up and fight. Be the hunters, not the hunted. Part 6 will be up soon.